Hey everybody, so today I wanted to talk about how my writing through the body method can help you with your nonfiction self-help book. So if you watched my previous videos, I did one the other day on how writing through the body can help you with your novel, which may seem obvious because writing through the body is a character development method that I devised based on the 7 chakras of the body. And as I'd mentioned before in other videos, maybe in that one, sometimes people want to shy away from it when they first hear about it because they hear chakras and they think, oh, you know, spirituality. They think I'm going to be pushing some kind of ideology on them. And it's really not that. I put this to a very practical use with writing. And, you know, I do view my writing practice as my spiritual practice. So there's that. But when I use the chakras, it's in a very practical way, and I'll explain how in just a minute. So if you have not watched the one for fiction and you like to write fiction, you might want to go look at that. And then I also recently posted one for memoir. And as I explained, when we write memoir, we become the character in the story, right? So you might want to check that one out as well. If you write personal essay or you're in the middle of a memoir, you want to start one, whatever, you should go check those out. So then, how does that, if this is a character development method, how does that then work for a nonfiction self-help book? So the way I like to explain it is, in my mind, I believe that when we write anything, what we have to think of initially, the very first thing we have to think of and keep in mind is the people. So in fiction, that is the characters. In memoir, also the characters, ourselves, and people we know from our personal lives. And in nonfiction self-help, that is your ideal reader. So if you have a business and you've developed a method, program, or process that you use with your one-on-one clients, or maybe you teach workshops or whatever, your ideal reader, in this case for your book, is the first person you need to think about, even more so than with the other 2 genres, because with a nonfiction self-help book, you really are writing directly to your reader. And, you know, at first blush, you might think, well, I know who that is. If you've developed their persona or the avatar for your ideal client, for example. But like I've said with the fiction and memoir videos, writing through the body takes maybe what you already know and really helps you drill down deep inside your ideal reader. So you get into their heart, into their mind, into their soul, so you really can kind of climb into their skin and think, feel, taste, just everything as they do, so that you can really write directly to them and hit them where it counts, right? Because you want them to buy your book. And the idea then is, if they don't already work with you, that maybe after reading your book, they will, right? And vice versa. So it works the same way with this genre as it does with the other 2 I've mentioned. There are 7 levels. Each one is based on a chakra. Each chakra represents a level of human development. And so I've taken this and found a way to apply it to characters. In this case, your ideal reader. Each chakra has a 2-word mantra. And again, this is just a glimpse at writing through the body. This isn't the entire method and how it works. It goes very, very deep. But this will give you a good idea of how it does work. So each level has a mantra. And so, for example, the first level, which is the root chakra, the first level mantra is I am. And so what would your ideal reader say if they were starting to write? And like I said in the other previous videos, set a timer, treat this as a free write stream of consciousness. And, you know, don't edit yourself, don't censor yourself. You're the only person who's going to see this. This is for your information right now. And if your ideal reader were going to respond to that mantra, I am, what would they say? I am what? And feel free to take this any direction it wants to go. There are no rules about that, okay? The second level says, I feel. So how would your ideal reader say that? I feel this about what? I feel this about myself, about my family, about my friends. I feel like this about the world. And really think specifically about your area of expertise. So I feel blank about getting fit. I feel blank about managing my money. I feel blank about my relationships. All right, so let that go in whatever direction happens and see where it takes you. And like I say, at least 2 pages for each one of these. In 10 minutes with a timer set, whichever happens first. Preferably 10 minutes, more than 2 pages, but at least that, okay? Third level is I act or I do. So this is about the personal agency of your ideal reader. How much personal agency do they have? Maybe this is something they struggle with. Maybe this is why they need you. So if they were going to say, I act, how do they act? What do they act on? Or I do. What kinds of things do they do that they like about themselves that they don't like? And again, really think about your area of expertise and how this mantra applies to them. Okay, the fourth level is located here, and it is I love. So what does your ideal reader love? Who do they love? And how do they love? All of these are really important things for you to know as it relates to your area of expertise, right? Okay, then the fifth level is here, and as you might guess, it says I speak or I say. So what does your ideal reader speak about? How do they speak? What do they say? And these could be like interior thoughts that they have. What do they say about themselves? What do they say about other people? What do they say about this thing they want to accomplish that they're needing you to help them? Think of this also, this area, as their personal will. It's their ability and willingness to speak their wants and needs and desires so that they can see them happen. Okay? So then the sixth level, located here, is the third eye chakra, and it says I see. And while this can be a literal seeing with the eyes, it's more an intuitive, spiritual, soulful seeing. So as the adage goes, the eyes are the window to the soul. Think about that with your ideal reader. What do they see in an intuitive level? This is about their intuition. If you are, say, a coach who works with empaths or sensitive people, introverts, to what degree are they connected to their intuition? Maybe they're not. Maybe they used to be, but they're not now, and that's why they need you. They need to get back into it so that they can trust themselves again, right? So what would your ideal reader say to I see? What do they see on a soulful, spiritual level? How do they see themselves? How do they see the world, other people? How do they see this thing that they want to accomplish that's in front of them? And then the seventh level is located here, and it says I know. And again, this can be a cognitive knowing, so definitely explore that when you write. But also think of it as and I know in the beginning I said this is not pushing any kind of spiritual anything on anyone. However, it is good to know when we are working with people how connected they feel to whatever we want to call it, the divine, the higher power, the wiser self. So we have, some people believe we have a higher self and a lower self. So So how do they connect to that mantra? I know what. And so think of this in very expansive terms. You can also think of it in very practical terms. What do they know about this thing that you teach that they need to know more about? Okay? So those are the 7 levels. And I hope you try these and then let me know. I will list them below in the description. And I would love to hear in the comments how it went for you. If you want to share anything you've written, that's great. If you would rather not, totally understandable. But I would love to know how it works. And then I'm also leaving a link below to my website, which is, I have to say, in kind of a revamp right now. So, but it'll give you a good idea of kind of the work I do and who I am. And then there's also a link to my Writing Through the Body blog, which I put all kinds of things up there that have to do with writing and writing practice. And my prompts in threes that I put here on YouTube, you'll also find over there. But you'll also learn on the blog more about Writing Through the Body and what it is. So, I hope this helps. I love this method. I developed it in 2014. And I've been teaching it ever since, and so I've really had a chance to refine it and get it to work really well, and people have had a lot of success with it, so I hope you like it, and again, love to know how it went for you, okay? So until next time, sending you mad writing mojo. Happy writing!